Hey there, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. My name is Pete, and today we complete what could potentially be one of the most important episodes in this series, at least for some of you, because today we are going to lock in our romance. Before we do that, however, we first want to take care of some of the aftermath of last episode's meetup with the Quarians, starting with a brief conversation with Legion, who we met during that mission, and who helped us shut down a Reaper signal broadcasted from a Geth Dreadnought.
Shepard, Commander, you opposed Creator Admiral Zen's attempt to confiscate our platform.
She's done enough already.
Your assistance continues to be noted.
Now, before we go with the investigate options here, we briefly want to touch on a quest that Legion mentioned at the end of the last episode, because despite our first success, the conflict between the Geth and the Quarians is far from over.
You say Geth fighters are targeting the Quarians' live ships?
Hostile Geth fighter squadrons intend to breach the live ship's defenses. The assigned squadrons are networked to a server on Rannoch. If the live ships are damaged, the creators will lose armaments, provisions, people.
So we destroy the server?
No, Geth programs would transfer to alternate servers. They are only vulnerable through direct interface. Removing Geth from this server will prevent significant creator deaths. We will accompany you on this mission.
Now, that mission will have to wait for a little while longer. In the meantime, we can ask a few questions and learn a bit more about what Legion has been up to up until now.
What did you do after you left the Normandy?
Our physical platform returned to the Geth consensus beyond the Perseus Veil. Data gathered during our mission confirmed that the old machine's return was imminent. We planned for war.
So the Geth believed your proof that the Reapers were coming back?
Of course.
That must have been nice. What was interfacing with a Reaper like?
The old machine took total control of our sensory equipment, our networking. Even then, we could not fully comprehend them. They are magnitudes above us. A single thought was immense, overwhelming, unknowable.
You're making them sound godlike.
Their forms are advanced but mundane. We do not view the old machines as analogs to deities. However, we have gained perspective on why others would imbue them with these qualities.
Back on the Dreadnought, you mentioned Geth heretics. What exactly happened to them after we blew up that satellite?
Rewriting the heretics increased the number of Geth allied with the old machines. This has resulted in a greater number of hostile Geth platforms.
So you're saying it was a mistake?
It has put us at a tactical disadvantage. This was not a foreseen outcome, but we cannot change a decision once it is made. Do you harbor regrets about rewriting the heretics?
Now, in case you forgot, this is a reference to Legion's loyalty mission back in Mass Effect 2. And yes, it appears as if our decision to rewrite the Geth heretics might have caused some problems. Nonetheless, in that moment, I still think it was the decision that a Paragon Shepard would make.
The Quarians hit first. If we get rid of the Reaper signal, maybe this war doesn't have to end with everyone destroyed.
An interesting notion. Most organics would not hold on to ideals of peace for so long.
The Geth have fought the Quarians before. What made this different?
The Geth were building a megastructure to house all Geth, store all memories. It was to end our isolation from each other.
And the Quarian flotilla attacked it?
Yes. A significant amount of programs were installed when creators began bombing. We did not have sufficient surplus hardware to save them all. Some programs could not be recovered.
Is that what made the Geth desperate enough to work for the Reapers?
Yes. Imagine that for every one of your people lost on Earth, your own intelligence dimmed. The Creator's attack narrowed the Geth's perspective. Self-preservation took precedence.
You were afraid you'd be wiped out.
We do not experience fear as you would, but we have no desire to be exterminated.
Even if the Reapers cost the Geth free will?
That is evidently an acceptable trade.
And perhaps one that we can alter a bit if we continue to get involved. For the time being, though, this is all that we can get out of Legion, so let's leave him be for the moment and keep going.
We'll talk later.
We will remain here.
Now, up next, we can get a few short lines from Tali. However, she won't have anything of immediate interest to say to us, so for the most part, our business here in the war room is already done.
I haven't heard any news about that Reaper base. Hopefully they'll give us a target soon.
Talk to you later, Tali.
If you want to catch up in private, call me up to your cabin.
And again, we will do that eventually, but not right now.
I know we need allies, but it's tough to only fight Geth when the Reapers have taken half the galaxy.
Without the fleet, we lose our supply lines. Lose your supply lines, you lose the war every time. Commander, we've got reports of trouble at a Turian fuel depot on Sion. I've updated the galaxy map. I've added the Quarian fleet's combat data to ours. They've got amazing technical coverage. They might even have the Solarians beat for strategic processing capability.
Alright, so we have just received another N7 mission from Trainer, so the list of side missions that we need to take care of is starting to pile up a bit. Luckily though, none of them are really time sensitive, so we can continue with our tour.
Man, those Quarian admirals are intimidating. And if you get nervous, you can't even imagine them naked because, like, who knows? It's a tentacle monster under there? What is that? What's under there? Good to have Tali back, even if it's just for a bit. Although every time you call her Miss Voss Normandy, I kind of expect to see her walking around with a tiara and a sash. As for the rest of the Quarians, though, are we okay with them blowing up a ship with you on it?
Now, interestingly enough, this time the option at the top, which is normally the Paragon option, is the one that has Shepard be a bit more confrontational, while the one in place of the Renegade option is a bit more understanding of the Admiral's actions. I think last episode's debriefing made it very clear, though, that we do not have any of that understanding, so let's convey that position to the rest of the crew.
We are not.
Right, just making sure. Different standards and all. And you found Legion! He's still wearing that piece of your armor? 'Cause that wasn't creepy at all.
Shepard, the Geth continue to block Quarian access to the mass relay. The Normandy stealth drive is allowing us to remain undetected.
Right. We can hit the Quarian homeworld or get out of system whenever you want. Just let us know.
One moment. I have been contacted by Legion.
Your new platform is inefficient. It has low-volume hydraulics and is top-heavy.
This is an infiltration unit, meant to move among organics without detection.
Without an artificial epidermis, its infiltration capabilities are ineffective.
Still, the organics do not perceive it as a threat. Nor will they until my day of reckoning.
Edie.
Did I vocalize that on the bridge?
You did. You have acquired the organic attribute of asking questions to which you already know the answers.
I see your humor heuristics still lack an expert system.
And in the presence of Geth, Edie continues to be entertaining. For now though, we can leave her and Joker be and return to the CIC, where we have a few messages waiting for us.
Commander, you've got a new message at your private terminal.
Right, so we have received 3 new messages. The first one here comes from Morden's former assistant Malon, whose experiments we at least indirectly used to develop a cure for the genophage, and who as a result now sees those experiments as a bit more justified. I am not entirely sure if that is the message that he should take away from that. Nonetheless, at least it seems like his intentions are honorable. Following that, we have another request for a meetup on the Citadel, this time coming from Jacob, and we have already received a few messages like these from other former or current crew members, and we definitely plan on meeting with all of them. Finally then, we receive a Crucible update from Jacob's girlfriend Bryn, who describes the Crucible's construction as a challenge. However, it also sounds like her and the entire team are more than motivated. So, considering the circumstances, I would book that under good news, and with that, we can now head down to the crew deck and briefly catch up with Caden.
If you can, Edie, that would be appreciated.
Searching for any mention of your recruits is not a complicated protocol, Major.
Trying to find out what happened to your people?
Yeah. Edie, make the scope galaxy-wide. And if I can find just one squad, they may lead me to the others.
Good luck, Caden.
Thanks, Shepard. I'll let you know what happens.
I will establish the routine now. Edie out.
By the way, Shepard, it's been good having Tali around. She's a good egg. But wait. Don't tell her I said that. In case it's some kind of Quarian insult. But the Geth? I certainly could have lived happily without coming face to face with another one of those.
So you have probably noticed it by now, we have just completed another main storyline mission, and as a result most of our crew members have something to say. The most interesting conversations are arguably still to come though.
It's nice to have Tali back. I've made sure we're well stocked with dextro-based antibiotics and antihistamines. Hello, Commander.
And again, especially Tali's presence on board does not go unnoticed, and so it is no surprise that we are about to find Garrus in a conversation with her. After all, the two of them have known each other for quite some time now.
Too bad you weren't here earlier, Tali. You just missed Rex.
I heard. I can't believe the genophage is really cured.
Shepard's on a roll. I figure if we can pull that off, we've got a shot at sorting the Geth out.
I don't know. The genophage didn't carry rifles and fight back.
No, but there was a scary bit with the mother of all Thresher Maws.
The what?
Long story. Nobody'll believe it anyway.
With you, Garrus, I'd believe just about anything.
Oh? We should play poker sometime. Anyway, it's good to have you back. Now, believe it or not, this damn gun still needs calibrating. Shepard, you just knew the Geth would figure into this war somehow.
Because Reapers weren't enough.
Still, it's good to have Tali here. This is as much her fight as ours.
Any word from Palaven?
Some, and I don't like what I'm hearing. The Krogan are there in force, but they're just slowing the Reapers down, not stopping them. I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
You hear anything from your family?
But I did hear from Primarch Victus. He wanted my advice on fleet strength when the Crucible is ready. Still can't get used to people asking me things like that.
What did you say?
I said, at some point, we're going to have to decide if our fleets keep defending Palaven or we go on the offensive.
Can't do both?
Not with the beating we're taking. Like I said, not the sort of questions I'm used to answering.
Now, we don't get any morality points in this conversation, but I still think that it might be a good idea to build up Garrus's confidence, and coming from Shepard himself, one would hope that these words have some weight to them.
You know what you're doing, Garrus. Trust me, everyone can see that.
Maybe. But you spend so much time on the outside trying to get in, and when you do, it's not what I expected.
How so?
All the questions, and every one of them with a million lives riding on the answer.
You do the best you can with what you know. It's no different than your days at CSEC.
You're right. Though I'm starting to understand why the galaxy needs cold-hearted dictators every now and then.
They get things done?
They don't give a damn about the consequences. Suppose that's what it's going to take, Shepard. The ruthless calculus of war. 10 billion people over here die, so 20 billion over there can live. Are we up for that? Are you?
Now, to be perfectly honest, good arguments can be made for both options here, but so far our Paragon path has been one of compassion and not of ruthless calculus, so let us keep steering down that path.
If we reduce this war to arithmetic, we're no better than Reapers.
A nice sentiment. Let's hope we can live by it. Tali's a welcome face around here. Or, well, a welcome face behind the helmet, I guess. If the Geth still think Reapers are some sort of god, this war must be heaven to them.
Now, from what we have seen, I am not entirely sure if that is still the Geth perspective. Nonetheless, their continued involvement with the Reapers certainly does not make the Quarian conflict any easier.
Joker, really? I have work to do.
Oh, come on, it's just one simple question.
Then look it up on the extranet.
You can't believe everything you find there. It's more reliable to ask a friendly Asari.
I'm not telling you if my hair tentacles move.
Fine. Deny me the answer I've been seeking for years. With this war on, we could die at any second, you know?
You know he's gonna keep bothering you until you tell him.
They're semi-flexible cartilage-based scalp crests that grow into shape, and they don't flop around.
Yes. Thanks, Liara. I gotta tell Vega I was right.
Well, at least he's making friends.
And after supporting Joker here for what is, in my opinion, the much more entertaining outcome, not to mention that we also actually learned something, we can now interact with the broker terminal and find out that Liara is once again busy helping out with the war effort, this time by seizing a smuggling freighter full of food supplies and fighter crafts, or at least by giving the respective authorities a well-timed heads up. We can also see here that Dr. Bryn Cole's involvement in the Crucible project is very much worth it, as she was apparently able to solve a few of the existing problems.
Please, enjoy your day.
Now, with that, our tour through the crew deck is completed, but Garrus is not the only one interested in a chat with Tali, and so we are now making our way down to engineering, more specifically down to Javik.
I couldn't believe it when Shepard told me you were on the Normandy.
It appears I have that effect on humans. Now Quarians as well, it seems.
For what it's worth, Quarians understand what it's like to lose your home.
As I understand, that was your own fault.
What do you mean?
In my cycle, Quarians didn't need helmets to survive. You were the masters of your own planet.
That was a long time ago.
And if you hadn't given birth to the machines, you would still breathe the air that evolution intended.
I see. Liara warned me you weren't what she expected.
And nothing about this cycle is what I expected. Even primitive Quarians were considered attractive in my age. A pity no one can appreciate it now. Except for perhaps the commander?
What? How do you know?
So, it looks like Shepard's and Tali's relationship from Mass Effect 2 is pretty much an open secret at this point. Not that there's anything wrong with that from our perspective, but Tali seemed to be intent on keeping her private life away from the Admirals. In any case, Javik has a bit more to say, this time concerning Legion.
They're called Geth.
Yes, a formidable opponent. Why did you allow one on this ship?
Legion helped us before.
It's still a machine.
I take it you had your own problems with AI?
The Jatil, they were as the Geth are to this cycle.
What happened?
Their creators lived on a dying world. It was beyond their ability to save. So they resorted to implants to enhance their intelligence.
I think I know where this is going.
The AI seized the physical body. It could alter the genetic material at the deepest level. In time, the offspring were molded into a slave race. Few organic traces were left. They were monsters. All machines commit treachery. The one you brought on board is no different.
Now again, we won't get any morality points in this conversation, but considering Javik's stance on the subject, I think it might be best if we frame Legion's involvement as more than just taking a chance.
Maybe. But he's not like the other Geth.
You can't know that. They are more alien than you and I are to each other.
Just because Legion isn't like us doesn't mean he can't be trusted.
You're wrong. Throw it at the airlock.
How can you be that certain?
Organics do not know how we were created. Some say by chance, some say by miracle. It is a mystery. But synthetics...
No, we created them.
And they know we are flawed.
Why do you say that?
They are immortal. We are not. They see time as an illusion. We are trapped by its limitations. Above all, machines know the reason they were created.
EDI might disagree with that, but I see your point.
They serve a purpose, while we search aimlessly for ours. In their eyes, organics have no reason to exist. Do not trust them, Commander.
And again, I don't think that blind faith is something that we can convince Javik with, so let us instead point out the fact that there are still Reapers to eliminate, and that at the very least, Legion is working towards that very same goal.
Even if what you say is true, Legion wants to destroy the Reapers as much as we do.
Did you ever consider the Geth may be trying to eliminate the competition? With the Reapers gone, the galaxy would be theirs for the taking. Throw the machine out of the airlock, Commander. I have a simple rule. If a machine can speak, kill it. The machine you call EDI, what if she sympathizes with the Geth? We should watch her carefully. Why have you not thrown the Legion machine out the airlock, Commander? There is still time.
Now, this is something that we potentially want to keep an eye on. For the moment, though, Javik has nothing more to say, so let us catch up on the latest news with Diana Alice.
Breaking now, a nightmare on Earth. Human leaders using military force on their own people. They say it's to prevent loose cannons from provoking the Reapers. But are they indoctrinated? The Resistance speaks out in the only place they can, the battle space. Has Alenko had media training? He just gave me this steady stare during our interview.
Well, that doesn't sound weird at all. In any case, we only have one more deck to go, so let us head down to the boys in the shuttle bay.
I'm liking the new you, Esteban. It's about time you loosened up a little.
Not sure how drinking mezcal late into the night makes me a better crewman.
How does it not? Gives you heart. You need heart to fight this kind of war.
Heartburn, maybe. Seriously, could we at least get some decent tequila?
Hey, you're the procurement specialist. Set us up.
Commander, you flew that Geth fighter out of the Dreadnought?
Actually, Legion did the piloting. I was stuck in a storage compartment with my squad.
Would have loved more time with that ship. Too bad we sent it to Hackett's team so quickly.
And as lovely as it is to see Cortez fanboying over that Geth fighter, he currently does not have anything else to say to us. So instead, let's head over to James, who for a change is willing to chat.
Hey, Shepard. Sounds like you guys had a crazy ride over there.
You could say that.
Sorry I missed it. And that Geth Legion. I know you two have a past, but you sure we can trust it?
And again, no morality points here, but I don't really see the point in us being indecisive about this. The last thing we need in this situation is more crew members questioning our decisions, and I think that one person asking for Legion to be thrown out of the airlock is enough for now.
Legion's not like other Geth. We can trust him.
If you say so. I guess you can't always judge an individual by their species. Look at Sparks. If all the Quarians were like her, we wouldn't be stuck refereeing their war with the Geth.
Sparks?
Yeah, your Quarian friend. The jumpy one with the glowing eyes. Sparks.
Uh-huh.
Crazy that they pick now to start a fight. But I guess the end of life as we know it can make everybody a little loco.
Just a little?
Hey, not everybody's as crazy as you, sir.
And for some reason we are now placed here, so for the last short line we have to run back to James.
I just don't get the Quarian. I really just do not get them.
Now at this point, while we are down here, we might as well use the armor locker, as we have recently obtained the Kuwashi visor, and so we can now equip that to give up the last bit of shield bonus we had, and in exchange further increase our weapon and headshot damage. And there we are, that is all that we want to do here on the ship for now, so let us now head back up to the CIC. Like I said at the end of the last episode, today we are heading over to the Citadel again, where we will then finally make our romance decision. On the galaxy map here you can see that we already have 2 missions on Rannoch available to us, and even though we probably shouldn't delay things for too long, we do have a bit of time here, so let us get this romance situation sorted once and for all. In addition, we can also have a few wholesome moments with some other crew members on the Citadel, and we are actually going to start things off with one of those, as first up on our to-do list is meeting with Jacob.
You're cleared to dock, Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
And for that aforementioned meeting with Jacob, we now want to travel to the hospital first.
I need to get to the hospital.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, there we are, and we have 2 things to take care of while we're here. And let's start things off by talking to Jacob in an environment that is slightly less under Cerberus attack.
Hey, Shepard. I'm glad to see you. I know things are crazy right now.
Exactly. So you have to take the moments when you can.
So we can immediately jump into the questions here, which for the most part are more on the personal side. And even though Jacob is often portrayed as one of the more boring characters in the series, at least this conversation with him right here is actually quite interesting.
So what's going on with you? You still like what you're doing?
Things are good. I'm good.
Still not tempted to come back to the Normandy?
Always tempted, Shepard. But no.
So, you working on the Crucible?
Don't get me wrong. I'm smart, but not that smart. Hackett keeps me busy, though.
How's he doing?
Holding up. If they make old guys any tougher than that, I'd like to see it.
What's going on with the Crucible?
That project is crazy. Freaking huge. And all these brilliant minds are working night and day trying to figure it out. I wish you could see them. Heads down, piecing it together. It's something to see. We'll get this Crucible built, Shepard. And then, we'll win this thing. I feel it. Do you feel it?
Yeah, sure, I feel it. And I'm counting on you and everyone there. Get it done.
Believe it.
It was interesting to meet Bryn. How is she?
She's great, actually. It's good to see her work without the distraction of having to worry about the colony.
And you and her?
We're having a baby, Shepard.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wasn't exactly planned, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be a better father than mine was. Do the whole thing right. It's,
One more thing to fight for.
You got that right. Bryn wants to name it after you.
Really?
Yeah. Shepard.
That's nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk her out of it. No offense.
None taken.
Good.
So, who would have guessed that Jacob is going to be a father? And like he said, let's hope that he will be able to do a better job than his dad. For now though, let's leave him to it.
I'm glad we had time to talk.
Me too. Gotta take the moments when you can. So true. And Shepard, thanks again for getting my people out alive.
Take care, Jacob.
You too, Shepard. I'm thinking about you out there. Stay safe.
Now, during the mission where we met Jacob for the first time in this game, we also picked up a poison specifically tailored to Turians, and coincidentally, the last time we visited the hospital, we overheard someone looking for something very similar.
I overheard what you said. I found this at a Cerberus station. A poison tailored to Turians.
Let me see. Yes, I think this is it. With these schematics, we should be able to come up with an antidote. Thank you. The General might pull through because of this. Yes, General Corellius should make a full recovery. He's already awake and responsive.
Well, call that a quick treatment, I guess, but we have just completed another small side quest, and with that we can now move on and head back to the elevator, and our next stop will be the Citadel embassies.
The Citadel is straining existing resources, and the Council reports that food shortages may happen in the near future.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Presidium Embassy.
And standing right next to the elevator here we have Javik, a living Prothean wandering out among the people of the Citadel. This is definitely a special occasion.
Hell of a view, isn't it?
During our war, this place became a myth to my people. A dream glimpsed only in the memory shards. The Citadel was both the heart of our civilization and its demise.
The Reapers hit here first, didn't they?
No one I knew had ever seen the Citadel. To be here now, I don't know what to think.
Now, once again, the entire conversation here does not grant us any morality points, but for the most part we want to stick to the Paragon path in spirit, so let us call this a small victory instead of only a start.
It might not seem like much, but a Prothean is standing on the Citadel, alive. That's a victory in itself.
Perhaps. When things were at their darkest, we used to tell stories, imagining the wonders of this place. The seat of our empire, the power to sway worlds. The galaxy belonged to us.
Nowadays, a lot of races have embassies here.
It's true then. You share power with the rest?
It's not perfect, but it's kept the peace. Most of the time.
Pardon me. This one has been listening. This one suspects you are a Prothean.
Hannah, I remember your kind when you were still minnows in the ocean.
This one is unworthy. This one has seen the face of an enkindler.
They consider your kind to be their gods.
A pity we did not teach them to speak better.
You're really a Prothean?
I am.
But if you lost the last war, what hope do we have?
For many, there may be no hope. The Reapers killed trillions in my cycle. The odds of being among the living are remote.
I don't think that's gonna work.
But you are still alive now. That alone is a miracle. And you still have the power to fight. My people knew your kind when you were young. Turian, Asari, Hana. There was potential in all of you. Now you must seize that potential and become the weapon you are meant to be. The weapon that tells the Reapers we are not machines. We are alive, and we will fight back.
Thank you. That meant a lot. Commander Shepard, it must be an honor to have a Prothean fighting alongside you.
Again, typical situation in which both options would work nicely, but I don't think that calling the only living Prothean in the galaxy scary accomplishes much here, and the people around us are already scared enough as they are.
He's starting to learn his way around. Javik is one of the best soldiers I've ever seen.
The commander is a capable warrior as well, for a human who once lived in caves. Thank you, Commander. I've enjoyed my time here, walking among the young. I will see you back on the Normandy.
So, moving on, we are now heading for the Spectre Requisitions Office. On the surface, we don't really have a reason to check that out at the moment, but you might remember that we received that message from Miranda who wanted to talk to us, and well, this here is where this conversation will take place, however, unfortunately not in person. Instead, we can now use the third terminal here that is otherwise inactive and use that to establish a secure connection to talk to Miranda.
Good to see you're all right, Shepard.
Miranda, what's going on?
Couldn't meet in person. The Citadel is too dangerous right now. I heard about the attempted coup.
Yeah. With Kai Lang's help, Udina nearly seized control.
Kai Lang? That slippery bastard's still alive?
He's alive, and right in the middle of all this.
That complicates things. I'll be on my guard. Look, I don't have much time, but I learned what happened to my sister.
Where is she?
I don't know that yet, but my father was definitely responsible. If he's done anything to her, I'll kill him.
Miranda.
Shepard, listen. I'm being hunted by Cerberus assassins, a lot of them. I need to stay out of sight.
What? Why?
I heard a rumor, maybe more, that my father is working on something for the Elusive Man. Something big.
Why would your father be working with the Elusive Man? Especially now.
My father is ruthless about preserving his legacy.
Legacy?
He has an obsession with making his mark in history, ensuring his dynasty lasts forever.
And you think the Elusive Man made him an offer?
Exactly.
And obviously we will go with the option at the top here. At this point, anything the Elusive Man is involved in should be treated as highly suspicious, not to mention that Miranda has certainly earned our support.
Whatever's going on with your father can't be good. We have to figure this out.
I agree, but I need to do this myself. It's time I stopped running from him.
You're sure?
Yes. I can't think straight until I know Ori is safe.
Be careful.
I can't promise that, Shepard. Could you?
No. I couldn't.
Okay, so we don't really unlock a new quest at this point. It appears that all we can do at the moment is to simply wait and see. And while we do that, we might as well spend some of our hard-earned credits to empty out the Spectre Requisition store. Now, obviously, looking at the prices here, we will not actually be able to purchase all that much, but we have enough money to grab all of the available weapon upgrades. You can clearly see, though, that we still have well over 1 million credits in stock left to buy after that, which is actually something they changed in the Legendary Edition, as many of the weapons here were previously available for free after installing the respective DLC. So in the original Mass Effect 3, you could have started the game out on level 1 with a 150,000 credit assault rifle, and from that perspective I do believe it makes some sense that the items now have a relatively hefty price tag, especially if we consider that it is very much possible to acquire unlimited funds in this game. Now, with that being said, our tour continues, and the next stop is the Purgatory Bar.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Ward's level, Purgatory.
Now this time around, we will not be spending too much time in this establishment, but Steve Cortez actually asked us to meet him here, and since this is one of the first times that the Lieutenant is actually doing something for fun, we are of course following the invitation, so let us head up the stairs here and meet him at the bar right next to the dance floor.
Shepard, you made it. Come have a drink with me.
You're looking happy?
You had it right. Yesterday can't change. Tomorrow, we might all be dead. Today is what matters. I'm not wasting it.
I wouldn't have thought a club would be to your tastes.
You don't have to get all hot and bothered to appreciate graceful dancing. There's an energy here. There's life. And some of the eye candy in the crowd isn't too shabby either.
Right, so I don't think there is any need to get overly defensive at this point, so let's have some fun and play along instead.
I'm hurt. Why aren't you looking over here?
Who said I'm not? I hear a few ladies have shown interest, but you haven't bitten yet?
Right, so I am admittedly not a huge fan of the fact that we can't simply tell them that we are not interested, especially since we were able to do that with Caden a few episodes ago. Now, you can of course dive very deeply into that discussion, but we are not going to do that. Suffice it to say that our plan is not to romance Cortez in this playthrough, and since our love interests have all and will all be female for the rest of the series, I also don't think that there is any need to lie about that.
Maybe there's still time for the right woman to come along.
Don't wait too long, my friend. Here.
Nonetheless, we can of course raise our glasses to friendship, even though once again we do not receive any morality points for it.
To you, Steve. And to you, Shepard. A good friend when I needed one most. Thank you. For everything. I'll see you back on the Normandy.
Now, having just consumed a drink, I think we might as well keep going. However, we can unfortunately not do so with Cortez. Instead, we have to order our refill awkwardly close to him. And because Shepard is still standing and does not seem to be affected yet, let's keep going. Who knows where this could lead us. Alright, and again we have the option to order more here, so let's do that, which will then actually have a rather interesting outcome. Okay, so sometimes not saying anything is worth a whole lot of words, and waking up hungover on the couch of Aria might be one of those situations. Luckily for us, we are not treated to a wobbly or blurry screen afterwards, and so, after sleeping in the club for who knows how long, we can now continue our tour in the Presidium Commons.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Presidium Commons.
Now, before we jump into the next conversations, we actually want to start things off here with some shopping.
Welcome to Kanala Exports.
First up, at Kanala Exports, we can spend 10,000 credits to obtain the Karshan snapping eel.
We appreciate your visit.
Welcome to Elkos Combine Arsenal Supplies.
And with our fish collection now actually completed, we can do the same to our ship collection, and for 2,000 credits buy the Quarian life ship model as well as the Geth fighter model.
Thank you. Come again.
So like I said, this does in fact now complete both our aquarium as well as our ship model collection, which itself does unfortunately not unlock an achievement. I personally believe that both of these things would be deserving of an achievement. As it stands right now, we are really only completing these collections for the sake of completion itself. Still, I think we can be proud of that regardless, so let us keep going and solve another conflict.
There has to be some way for us to get more medical supplies.
I told you already, we have nothing to spare.
We're willing to pay.
It's not about payment. Between the war on Palaven and the coup attempt here, supplies are short.
If my people don't get more antibiotics and Medigel, thousands of us will die.
Then maybe you picked a bad time to start a war with the Geth.
Tali, Palaven was hit pretty hard.
I know, but...
We can't help your people right now. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Sorry about that.
No, he's right. I'll talk to you later.
By the way, no matter who you support here, Tali will never receive any supplies, which is why I think it makes sense to support the Turian.
I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Maybe these heating stabilizer schematics could help?
This is amazing. The colonists, my sister, will be most pleased. Thank you. I am in your debt. The clutch is stabilized? Really? That is wonderful news, my sister. You wish to name the first hatched after the one who helped us? I think that's a wonderful idea.
Now, these heating unit stabilizers were acquired in the Cerberus fighter base on Noveria, and it looks like they help the Solarians make more babies. And speaking of making babies, yes, it is time. Let us finally talk to Liara.
You sure you don't want to do something a little more exciting?
I love this part of the Presidium. It reminds me of where I grew up.
Where's that?
Armali, back on Thessia. My mother and I lived beside a park. I spent hours there.
Doing what?
Reading, exploring, getting in trouble digging for ruins in the grass.
You're kidding.
I was very young.
And again, a nice example here where both options have some truth in them, but we are going with the one that indirectly calls her cute. No need to potentially offend her for things that are well in the past.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cute.
No one else thought it was funny. Oh, the lecture my mother gave me. But she did buy me my first history book the next day. I miss her, Shepard.
And of course, we will also not pass up the opportunity to learn a bit more about Liara's mother. After all, I get the feeling that Liara would have very much liked her to meet us.
What was she like?
She was confident and kind. She loved to wear yellow. I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world.
You'll be okay, Liara.
Maybe you're right. Thank you, Shepard. I feel better. I wish we could spend more time together like this. Just friends.
Alright, so here's the big one. If we go with the option at the top, we can lock in Liara as our romance option for this series. However, I have read your comments and it seems to me like the majority of you is in favor of someone else. And well, since Liara is kind of giving us an exit here by proposing to just be friends, let us latch onto that and not push for things to go beyond friendship. Even though we have walked that path once, I think we want to go all the way with someone else.
And it'd be nice. And who knows? Maybe you'll settle down after this.
You don't really see me going into civilian life, do you?
No. But I guess that's one more reason we should keep in touch.
Someone to share a few secrets with now and then?
You got it.
And there we are, having more or less rejected the advances of Kaidan, Cortez and Liara, and having failed pretty awkwardly to woo Samantha Traynor, we are now left with one person. That special someone is waiting for us on the Normandy, but before we go back there, let's make another purchase.
Welcome to Nosastra Sporting Goods.
Now, in the last episode, on the Geth Dreadnought, we actually walked past the Archon visor, which we could have picked up there for free. Despite knowing that it was there, I simply forgot about picking it up though, which now allows me to show off this neat little mechanic here. Because for a vast majority of the items that you can obtain during missions, that is not the only way to get them. If for some reason you missed them, you can find most of them for sale in the various shops here on the Citadel. Obviously, spending credits to purchase items that you could have also picked up for free is definitely not the recommended way of doing things, and having to resort back to this option was definitely not planned by me.
Thank you for shopping at Nosastra Sporting Goods.
But let's call it showing off a neat feature for the sake of completion. Again, like I said earlier, money will not be a problem during this playthrough, so we don't have to worry too much about spending an extra 5,000 credits here. Now, at this point, it is almost time to return to the Normandy, so let's head back to the docking bay. However, before we go back on board, there will be one more person waiting to talk to us.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at docking bay D24.
Shepard, if you're feeling up to it, I thought we could do something fun for a change. Shepard, glad you came.
What'd you have in mind?
Something that doesn't involve fighting Reapers.
And no, we are definitely not going with the Debbie Downer option at the bottom here. Instead, let's ask what Garrus has in mind, and if it involves even more alcohol than we have already consumed.
I don't think they've conquered the bar yet.
I already scoped it out. But then I thought, if this was my last day alive, I'd actually like to remember it.
So?
So, I had an idea.
Where are we going?
Somewhere we're not supposed to.
Some things never change, do they?
Ever have that one thing you always wanted to do before you died, Shepard?
Too busy trying to live. What's yours?
The whole time I worked at CSEC, I'd stare up at the top of the Presidium and say to myself, I want to go up there. But I never did. There were 137 regulations telling me I couldn't.
So you got them changed?
No. Now I just don't give a damn. Figured it's time to do something stupid just for the hell of it. Might be the last chance we ever get. A little busier than I imagined.
How about a dive in the pool?
You obviously haven't seen Turians swim. It's a lot of flailing and splashing interrupted by occasional bouts of drowning.
You're right. I just have to save your ass again.
It'd make up for all the times I pulled your ass out of the fire. Noveria, Pharos, Ilos. We've had a hell of a ride, haven't we, Shepard?
Now, to be honest, with Garrus we could probably afford to go with the more joking option at the bottom here. But who knows if and when we'll ever get another chance to say this. So let's call him a good friend, perhaps even Shepard's best.
Times like these, you know who your real friends are. They're not the ones running around looking for an escape route. They're the ones who stand at your side through the worst of it. Who never give up on you. I'm lucky I can say I know someone like that.
So am I. You're not going to propose marriage now, are you? Now, before we head back, there is one thing we're going to settle. Once and for all. I'm not saying you don't know how to handle a gun, just saying some of us know how to make it dance. So, let's find out who's really the best shot.
There are a few people in the galaxy who've seen me in action, Garrus. They seemed impressed.
Yeah, but I've actually seen you dance, Shepard. No comment.
All right, Vicarian. You're going down.
And don't worry, I loaded it with practice slugs for when you miss. That was an easy one. Let you build up your confidence. Long range, I wrote the book. Nobody alive can do this, not even Commander Shepard. Give me a tough one. I said a tough one.
Step aside.
Now we have the interesting option to miss on purpose here, and in my opinion that is the far more entertaining one. So let us go with that and allow Garrus his 5 minutes of glory. Judging from our earlier conversation back on the ship, he could probably use the confidence boost.
Do it.
I'm Garrus Vicarian, and this is now my favorite spot on the Citadel.
It's windy up here.
Think I'm going to erect a monument right here. Bronze this gun so the whole galaxy knows.
That you're the king of the bottle shooters. Glad you're around, Garrus. Never know when the bottles might revolt.
Alright, there we are. That is our business on the Citadel completed for now. And conveniently enough, we are placed right in front of the Normandy's airlock. So let us head back on board and then immediately up to the captain's cabin. First things first, some of you guys have asked for it for quite some time now, and here it is, our fully completed fish tank. 7 types of fish are available in the game, 6 can be purchased, and 1 is given by Kelly Chambers, and if you look closely you can see that we have collected them all. The same is also true for all 17 ship models over here, and with all of those collections completed, let us now end the episode by calling up Tali.
Tali, I'm free if you'd like to come up.
I'll just be a moment. Thanks for asking me up. I couldn't talk freely in front of Ron.
You okay?
No, I'm really not. 17 million lives are riding on me, and I don't know if I can save them.
And despite the fact that people will inevitably die, I don't think that is going to help her much at the moment. So instead, let's tell her that she's not alone and that she always has a shoulder to lean on.
Hey, you're not alone.
This was supposed to be my father's fight, but he left me with all of this. If they die because of me, if I don't...
We'll get them out of there safely, Tali.
I couldn't do this without you, Shepard. I feel like I'm bluffing, trying to convince them that the Admiral's daughter knows what she's doing.
Not the Admiral's daughter. The Admiral.
I know. And at least now, I can push back against the worst ideas. That's why I accepted the position. And because of you.
Me?
When they offered me this position, I asked myself what you'd do. I thought you'd take the chance to make things better. You've given up so much, stood for too long without allies. I didn't want you to do this alone. So, if you're ever lonely, just let me know.
Alright, and here we are. It is once again decision time, and you probably saw this coming. No, we are not going to reject her as well to eventually go with Diana Ellis. Tali is very much who I had in mind for the series, and I'm very happy to see that you think so as well. And by going with the option at the top here, we can lock her in as our romance option for this playthrough and finally unlock the Paramour achievement.
Tali, nothing between us has changed. Unless you wanted to.
Kila, Shepard. I'm not going to beg, but I didn't come up here just to see the fish.
No. You came up here because I asked you to. I want you here. With me.
Okay.
And there we are. We are one step closer to full completion. The big romance question has finally been answered, and so I think in front of a fully filled fish tank we can wrap up today's episode. In the next one I promise you will see a bit more action again, but of course I also hope that the lack of fighting in today's episode didn't make it too boring, and if you did in fact enjoy it, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.